And now, RSM, the Rams Sports Magazine Show.
Good evening and welcome to RSM, Rams Sports Magazine Show. I'm your host, Anthony Keith. What you just saw was just a little teaser of what happened last weekend when the CSU Rams upset San Diego State and Moby Arena was rushed by the fans. However, I want to start things off on this show talking one-on-one with the newly named head coach of the CSU football team, Jim McElwain, after he announced his first ever signing class at CSU. This week, I'm joined by the new head honcho of the CSU football team, Jim McElwain. Now, obviously, this is a huge week for you, National Signing Day on Wednesday. I just want to know, what is your pride in your first class here at CSU?
Well, you know, this is an exciting day for a lot of players around the country and obviously coaching staffs around the country, and we're no different. We're really excited about the quality of character we brought into this class. And what we call pace setters, and guys who have been part of championships, championship program, conference, state titles, all those type of things, which was really an element we were looking for in this class.
Championships, 2 national ones under your belt. Now, just talk about what was your biggest selling point for CSU?
Well, this place sells itself. I mean, unbelievable academics here. The faculty take time with the students and do a great job with them and get them ready for the future. So the key here is to get them on campus. Once we get them on campus and they see what we have for them as student athletes here, it's really an easy sell.
It's game over for them. Well, how about your biggest challenge? Were there any challenges out there aside from the time frame?
You know, the time frame probably, but you know, it really wasn't as bad as I anticipated because of the quality of guys that we have on our staff. The guys went out and worked their tails off and had this class prepared, and I'm really excited about the response.
The big thing for you was character. Obviously, there's traits within character. Kind of talk about what your biggest favorite trait with character picking up these guys.
You know, really, one of the things, too, is guys that are team captains. Because usually those are your good leaders. And, you know, we have a good group of those. And as well as guys that again, have been part of winning programs, understand what it is and what it takes to win.
Can't argue that. Now, you talked about when you go to recruit a guy, you're recruiting his family. And you hear so often, you got to sell the mom. Do you believe in that? You get the guys by selling the mom first?
Well, you know, that always helps. And but I think, you know, once the people who are important in their lives understand the character of the people who they're going to be associated with, and that is unbelievable here at Colorado State, both in our staff and in the people who are going to care for them and be a big part of their now to help them better for the future.
That's great stuff right there. I want to know, now that you've got your first class, define Ram football to me.
You know, let's get spring ball over and get in and out of a huddle first. But the one thing that we will make sure that we do is we're going to be physical. We're going to be relentless competitors. And when it's all said and done, when we get done playing, we want somebody to take note and say, you know, I'm not sure I want to hit those guys again.
This is my last question, Coach. What is your direct message to the fans, not just about this class, but the entire team, what you know about them right now?
You know, I think the biggest thing is let's not dare to be great. Let's be proud of who we are, what we represent, and let's make sure we spread that word throughout the nation.
That's the way it should be. Thank you so much for joining us on the show,
Thank
Coach.
All right.
Best of luck in spring ball.
It has to be everybody involved, everybody together, and everybody putting their best foot forward in making sure that these guys understand how important they are and what they're going to be coming into, and that is a place that is outstanding both in education and in athletics. And those are the things that I think separate this class and really makes them special. Obviously, they will hold a big piece of my heart, being the first to take that leap of faith. into our program and into our university. Character was a major tag as we looked at our pace setters in this group, because we want guys that are not only good all around, but guys that push the rest of your team. And I think that's really important. When you look at it as well about guys that were team captains, I think there was 13 or 14 guys that were team captains, and guys, that means that they are leaders both off the field and on the field. And I think that's very important, especially when you're developing an attitude and a direction for your program and your organization. This recruiting class was nothing about me. This recruiting class was about Colorado State and the great people and help along the way. I tell you, I was just taken aback about all the support that we received on our visits, not only from the athletic department, but from the whole community, meaning the whole university. From the top in the president's office, all the way through everybody associated with the organization. And the key to success is everybody in the organization, no matter what that role is, are pulling in the right and same direction.
Now that you've heard from Coach Mack, meet the class coming up after the break. Stay tuned, Rams fans.
You're watching RSM, the Rams Sports Magazine Show on Northern Colorado 5.
Time to talk about Coach Jim McElwain's first signing class as a CSU Ram, the 2012 class. 24 names pop up. A few quick stats to go with these names. 4 signees were part of state championships their senior year of high school. 11 of them won conference or district championships. There are 3 JUCO transfers. Mr. Jones, a Littleton High School grad, Chuck Ragland, whose team won 2 straight junior college bowl games, and Calvin Tonga, who played in the National Junior College Championship. The 3 JUCO transfers are all taller than 6 foot and have a combined weight of 825 pounds. Aside from Mr. Jones, there are 5 other signees from the Centennial State: Jordan Vaden, Joe Hansley, A.J. Freeler, Kevin Davis, and right out of Fort Collins from Fossil Ridge, quarterback Craig Leonard. All-Americans: Kevin Davis, a parade All-American in football, Johnny Shupp in wrestling, and A.J. Freeler in track and field. A statistic Coach Mack is proud of: 13 of CSU signees were captains on their football teams. On top of that, a dozen 3-year starters. And there you have it. That's a quick little look at Jim McElwain's 2012 class.
You're watching RSM, the Rams Sports Magazine Show on Northern Colorado 5.
Welcome back to RSM. After 16 straight losses to ranked teams, the CSU men's basketball team took down San Diego State in Moby Arena Saturday night. Here's a look back at that huge upset. It was nearly a packed house with more than 6,000 fans at Moby Arena for Saturday's game. If you haven't noticed yet, it was a whiteout. Right off the bat, little jumper by Will Bell put the Rammies up 2-0. The Aztecs would turn that around and tie it with a layup courtesy of Tim Shelton. It was back and forth until we get about 8 minutes in, when Dwight Smith sinks a 3. One of the top teams in the country was unable to hold their own after that, as the Rams went up 16-13 and never looked back. 9 minutes left in the first half, Dorian Green with another big 3, 26-17 Rams. CSU held San Diego State to 14.3% from beyond the arc. CSU closed out the first half up 40-28 after a little jumper by Wes Eichmeyer.
Well, at halftime, they're obviously a great team, and we knew they were going to come at us hard, trying to attack the rim. And our emphasis at halftime was we got to stay solid on defense, because if we let up at all, that lead that we had will shrink down real quick. So we emphasized that at halftime, and we did a good job sticking to it.
I'll take you to the second half. Going 7.5 minutes in, Dorian Green with another 3. CSU shot nearly 50% from downtown against SDSU, and already it seemed like the game was over, with the Rammies leading 51-35.
Fast forward to the final minutes, and all we see is free throw after free throw. You don't want to send any member of this team to the line after CSU went a perfect 23 of 23 from the charity stripe for a Mountain West record. Head coach Tim Miles cleared his bench to get some young blood in at the end of the game as CSU upset San Diego State 77-60, prompting a good reason for the fans to rush the court. The win upped CSU in the Mountain West Conference standings and put them to number 18 in the RPI standings. After the game, when asked where this game ranks in the best of his basketball career, Wes Eichmeyer had this to say.
That's probably the biggest one. Number 12 team in the country, yeah, it's pretty good. So, you know, it's a good feeling. But again, at the same time, we're going to Las Vegas, and our mind is, you know, directly off of this game into the next one. So, you know, we're looking forward to it. You know, they're a great team, but the last 2 days in practice, we really concentrated on ourselves. We didn't necessarily go over the scout as much as we normally do. I think our worst side, the worst of us came out in Laramie and in Albuquerque. So, you know, we just worked on us, and we did the things that we know that make us successful, and you know, we finally applied what we did in practice to the game. So the biggest thing is that we carry this over and you know, build off of it, because you know, you can't take a day off in the Mountain West. So I mean, it helps big time, especially after those 2 bad losses. We didn't want to dwell on it, but you know, like I said before, our worst sides came out. So and then our best sides came out tonight. So for our confidence, it just ensures us that we know we can play with the best in our league, and if we do the right things and concentrate on our game plan, we're going to be successful. But I mean, at the same time, we're still humbled because of you know, those last 2 games. So like I said before, we know how bad we can be and we know how good we can be. So the idea is, you know, just to build off of this.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it helps big time. You know, especially after those 2 road games, it's really refreshing to come back to Moby and play in front of our fans and give them a good show.
It's really good. I mean, we've been working on it this whole week, working on emphasizing defense, because we knew if we didn't play defense, we weren't going to win. So I mean, it feels really good. We just gotta, like Wes said, we gotta build upon this and take it to the next one. So we just can't base our whole season off this. We just gotta move to the next one.
Yeah, I'd say across the board, just playing discipline, sticking to our game plan, and running our stuff for the whole 40 minutes. I'd say it was our best performance of the year.
I mean, yeah, we won at Vegas last year, and that was a pretty big win. And then obviously we lost 7 of the last 8. So, you know, like I said before, if you take any time off, you're gonna, you know, fall in the wasteland. So we got to build off of it. Well, Dorian did a great job on Chase Tapley. I don't know if you guys noticed, but he was chasing him around the whole game. So credit Dorian for that. And you know, Greg and I think Kaipo were chasing around Rayhan the whole game. So those are the 2 guys that really hurt you from the 3. And you know, we had some guys just step up and take it upon themselves to really frustrate those guys and not give them a lot of open looks. So you know, that was part of our game plan, and we did a good job executing.
We just gotta stay focused, man. You just can't let down after this and think, oh, well, we're gonna make the tournament or people are gonna respect us now. So we still gotta take on UNLV at UNLV, then go on the road back at San Diego State later in the season. So I mean, it's not done yet. We just got to build upon it, and this is just a start to it. I'm pretty sure, yeah. You know, Coach is not going to get overexcited. He's going to try to keep us humble. So, I mean, that's probably the first thing he's going to say. But we know what we have to do, and we just got to keep the foot on the gas and keep going.
Now that you've heard from players, coming up next on the show, hear from Tim Miles after that huge victory over the Aztecs.
You're watching RSM, the Rams Sports Magazine Show on Northern Colorado 5.
Welcome back to Ram Sports Magazine Show. Since Tim Miles became a Ram, he had not beaten a ranked team here at CSU until Saturday night when his team took down the Aztecs.
It's a good win, but it's just one win. And you have to continually do what we did today for you to end up where we want to end up. And that's the NCAA tournament. We know that. But it was a good win. It was a step further. We have 2 top 50 wins. Denver was 47. I don't know what these guys are, 20-something. And those are good. We didn't have any last year. And so it's a start in the right direction. I feel this can be a good team. We can be a bad team. And so I think Dr. Jekyll left. And so who's the good one?
Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde.
Mr. Hyde? That's who we want to be.
What did you do to get your team to...
Well, we want to be the good one. All right. Well, somebody asked me if I thought that we could be this team. And I said, well, I didn't think we were going to be that team, if you know what I mean, the one in Albuquerque. That's what I didn't think. And I think what the guys did is we practiced hard and well for 2 days. And they took that practice and they did exactly what they did in games, which was they shared the ball, they moved the ball, they took shots off passes that they could score off of. On defense, they challenged penetration. They stepped up and tried to challenge penetration. Yeah, I just watched the turnovers. They're lying. They're lying. So all we did is watch the turnovers the last 2 games. And if they want to call that the worst, well, that's their fault, all right? But all we did was watch turnovers and say, okay, what happened is we saw us standing around trying to play hero basketball, and they don't give you a cape when you go out and play basketball. You got to just go and wear your uniform and play. Well, it wasn't dramatic enough to be.
Over a top 25.
Well, it was a good win. I'll take it. I mean, I don't know. It was a good win. I thought we could win. I guess if you look at it, just statistically, it was eventually going to happen. So I figured, we're like 0-9 against these guys. So just the odds are in your favor. I mean, even a 250 hitter isn't going to go 0 for 39. You felt like eventually we were going to beat them. We'd had so many close games. My first year when we were dreadful, Will Wade hits a 3. And then DJ Gay gets us in the Mountain West tournament and gets us here. We just felt like, we had been there. We'd been knocking on the door. And you thought you were going to come out on top one of these times, and we did today.
What's it say, not just come out on top of the way you guys did? You guys dominated the game, really, from very early.
I think we caught them on a bad shooting night, which helped. That's why we were able to extend. I think they would have been a little hotter, obviously. It could have been an unbelievable game. But I think the reason was they missed shots. And I thought we defended all right. We may have caused a smidge of that, but we got them on a bad shooting night too. I thought they were good in practice. We just kind of saw what we were doing wrong, and they know that how we can play and how we're supposed to play. And I think it was just that self-recognition, and we just played the way we know we have to play to be successful.
23 of 23 from the free throw line.
Yeah, what's funny is we do this drill, and we do it, and so there's 4 baskets, 2 minutes on the clock, and you have to make the whole team. So 1 basket, 3 guys, 4 guys, and so you have to stand there, right? You guys have seen this, and you have to make 6 in a row as a team, and then 7 in a row, and 8 in a row, all in. And we just struggled we struggled the other night. And so we run them every time they don't get it. We run them, and it took us 4 times to do it, which is a lot on Thursday night, and then Friday it took us 3 or 4 times. But the last time we did it, we made all 22 in a row. Right? And we're like, oh, that's a good sign, and so we got 45 in a row now, or whatever it is. So. Yeah, I thought we did a nice, solid job on screen and roll defense. That limited them to being a perimeter shooting team. I thought we did a good, Thames seemed frustrated to me. It was hard for him to get a free reign at the basket, and now they were just taking shots, and they weren't rhythm shots. They were just kind of disjointed, pass, 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 take a 3. And we've taken plenty of those. And it's hard to get a rhythm, that way. And that's why it kind of felt like zone maybe, because we were so soft in on them. And in the zone, sometimes you do it the same way. You just kind of pass around and somebody shoots a 3. Whereas when you're penetrating, driving, pitching, extra pass, that's a better shot. We didn't give up many of those tonight. I was just worried that San Diego State was going to get trampled by the students. So I was in parent mode. And it felt good. It felt better when Steve came over with, a few seconds left and just, was very complimentary. And he's always been good to us. And we're going to just miss him in the league so bad, when that happens. But that was pretty good. I mean, that was a pretty humbling moment. I thought we played with poise in every way, shape, and if we had a turnover, we didn't necessarily lose our minds about it. If there was a bad whistle, there was a little bit of frustration, but we, if there was contact and there was no whistle, we just kind of handled all those things well, and that's a credit to the guys. And we've got some veteran experience, some guys that should act like that too. Great crowd. I thought the crowd, the guys, you could just feel an extra bounce in their step. With the crowd, and I said to one of my, is the music better tonight? It sounds like, and he goes, I just think it's louder in here, and it was pretty awesome.
How do you plan on keeping the team focused after such a big win?
I specialize in beating them down. So that's what I'm going to do. Now we're just going to, I want them to feel good about this. They need to feel good about it, but I would expect these guys to fully understand what Las Vegas presents, and then Air Force. It's a big week for us next week. These guys have been through it and not had the success they'd hoped to have last year. We have to try and avoid that, learn from our lesson from last year, and I would expect we come out and hopefully we'll play very well against UNLV. Our guys know what to do. Our guys are good. They're cerebral kids. They get the game. They know. They pay attention. We don't always do it right. Sometimes we want it easier than we want it easier than it's going to be. And but they're good kids and they get it.
That'll do it this week for RSM, but tune in next week as the men's and women's teams get deeper and deeper into conference play. Catch you next week, Rams fans.